Alright, hello everyone. For those who don't know, my name is Zan, and here's day 6 of the, um, uh, what am I calling it? Monster Hunt logs? I don't remember. But, today I wanted to talk about the monster roster in general. Um, just because, I've talked about a lot of the expansion for this whole week. Um, Rather you've watched those. Doesn't really matter. And so um, I might as well start with the first one, Chadacabra. Funny frog boy. I like him a lot. Um, I do wish he had a higher difficulty. Oh, I thought I was holding charge. My weapon just got sheathed though. So anyways, Chadacabra out of the roster. Very, very fun. I like him a lot. I like his design. I do wish they did more with him, had higher tiers, just like they did with the um, Rampapello. Unfortunately, that might have to wait for the expansion. Even then, I still have to hope that hit me. Still have to hope they give him a higher tier fight instead of the standard one. Oh my goodness! Wow. I got knocked out there. Anyways. That didn't count as an offset. Yeah, I'm getting very distracted. Let's move on to chemistries right away. I did pull up a list to the side of my monitor, just so this makes it easier. Chemistries is alright. I definitely like reptiles more, so Chadakara is just more appealing to me. So if you like chemistries, sorry, he's just a chicken to me. He's very normal coded. I like fantasy. I like crazy new things, and chemistries is just not that. But I'll talk about Lala Barina. I guess I'll talk about the spiders as a group, and oh dang. So there's Lalabrina and Nursilla. There are more spiders monsters. There's one in Rise that uses like its babies, shoots fire and stuff. Out of the three, I like the one in Rise the most. I like the way it fights, moves, and looks. Its style as a whole. Nursilla is a good monster. I do like him, but I like the one in Rise more. I don't remember the name of the one in Rise though. So yeah, sorry. Um, let's see. Unfortunately, Lalabrina is one of my least favorite monsters because realistically speaking, monsters do not dance for the sake of combat. Some people might say it's creative or something. It's kind of not. It's semi-creative. You took a monster like a spider and you mixed it with ballerina dances, and then you even mixed the name of it to kind of indicate that. On paper, it is somewhat creative, but the thing is, ballerinas are very human. People made it, we made it. It's how we express it. Does that mean we own it necessarily? Not necessarily. The thing is, monsters, animals in general, do dance and sing for the sake of expression. Like birds, they sing and dance a lot. Certain birds dance for the sake of like attracting a partner, and you'll have even insects like crickets make a lot of noise to also attract other crickets, and so on and so forth. Even some fish like to kind of decorate their nesting area to kind of better impress a fellow female fish. I do find that very funny. But the thing is, none of these things are even remotely relevant to combat, and a spider monster will never adapt in a way to where it needs to dance to fight. So, although somewhat creative of a monster, I personally don't like it. Nursilla and the one in Rise, even though I can't remember his name, are much more interesting to me. And I want more like scary monsters instead of those other ones. I thought I was going to get close to offsetting, but I guess not. Nope, a step away. Anyways. But yeah, Lalabrina, not a huge fan. Nursilla's decent. The one in Rise is definitely the coolest though. So I'm gonna move on quickly from that. Another group of monsters: Conga Lala, Ajarakan, and Blanganga. This one is not unlike the spiders. I don't like any of the monkey monsters. Never been a fan of them. They are considered fang beasts in the guild books, and I don't find them interesting whatsoever. I'm biased, however, because I like reptiles and I like dragons. And seeing these monkeys does not interest me in the slightest. So, although I do think a Jarakan is very likely to be added in the expansion, I don't care for him. He'll probably be a fun fight because he's very fast and very strong, and they're likely to very well make sure that he is fast and mobile in his fight choreography. But I'd rather see a dragon every day of the week than see a monkey. So, unfortunately, Kangalala, Ajarakan, and Blanganga all fall into that same boat. Not because they're unrealistic or anything like that, but simply because I find them boring. Blanganga has a 9-star variant. That doesn't make him any more interesting though, unfortunately for me. So that's a shame. In the terms of the game, Chadakabra, I kind of want to say as a frog, almost fits the same skeleton as the monkeys. They just have a pretty unique way of fighting that sets it apart. I do wish they expanded more on Chadakabra, but that's just me being a bit biased. Next monster I have here is Balahara. I think he's unique enough. However, I don't like his water spits. Very inconvenient. Not only that, but I think its hitbox is not super well communicated. I think there's a video explaining that the hitbox for the actual attack comes out faster than the actual visual. My Calico just saved me. Healed me last second. Very clutch. Yeah, Balahara is nice and unique in a design-wise. His fight is very odd though. Just because like the way you fight him and how it goes is very awkward to go through. Not a huge fan of it, but I do like his design, and hopefully they kind of expand on his moveset a little bit, maybe even fix his hitboxes, because they don't quite communicate what you're supposed to like look out for properly. But that's if it hasn't already been fixed. I don't know. That missed me? What just happened? That was strange. I don't know if you guys saw that properly, but that missed somehow. Anyways. Next monster. We have Doshiguma. I actually like him. It's a shame it took them so long to add pack quests, but I actually very much enjoy the Doshiguma pack quest. I like having to hunt all of them. I even purposely fight them all together. I don't like separating them. Really takes away from the experience. Kind of weird to add a pack monster and then not require the whole pack to be hunted. Not only that, but you immediately give the hunter a large dung pod specifically to separate all of them. If anything, pack quests should have been there from the beginning, and large dung pods are not needed. You can have regular dung pods and maybe separate one or two of them by picking them up from the environment, but I don't think it's so necessary to give yourself like a really cool feature and then to immediately get rid of it. Really shooting yourself in the foot there. Shooting yourself in the foot there, Capcom. They really should have thought of that better. But I understand that they might not have had all the time in the world and didn't come out in a state they might have liked. Oh, wind pressure. That doesn't happen a lot. Moving on from Doshiguma, since I do like him very much. Very good pack hunt. It is very hectic and there's not a lot of pattern to it, so it's hard to like recognize what you're supposed to do, but I do like the chaoticness of it, so I don't mind it. I think it's supposed to be chaotic. You are fighting multiple monsters at once, and I think it's just supposed to come with it. Next would be I want to talk about the Apex's last. Oops. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Rumpapolo. I think he should not gotten a 10-star variant. Capcom themselves said they gave him one because he was the least hunted monster. And to me, the only thing I have to say to that is for good reason. He is in fact unique. I like that he looks ugly. However, his fight in itself is uninteresting. This is partially fault of the fact that it is a low-tier monster. Low-tier monsters are not very fast, not given a lot of attacks for a unique moveset, and don't have a lot of stats like health and damage to really feel like a hunt. So a lot of that is because of it, but even though he gotten the proper stats as a 10-star and an expanded moveset, he's still not super fun to fight. Yeah, I think a lot of people might agree. His 10-star fight is not super entertaining. Especially with the way the damage. I'm so dead again. I got stunned. I knew it was gonna happen. I think the biggest reason is because of the poison. However, not because poison's strong. It's that Rumpapolo was buffed so much that a lot of his attacks can near one-shot you. And let's say you have guts and it procs. You are at 0 health, you're at 1 HP. However, poison will activate right away and take that away. So it's a huge waste of like Moxie and Guts. because of that, you'll survive with just 1 HP just for it to immediately go away with a proc of poison. It kind of feels like a bad Pokemon strat to kill enemies with poison. And it's not like poison's strong. It's not. Hunters can't really use it on monsters because it does like 15 damage a second when they have thousands of health. It's super useless. It doesn't debuff the monster in any way. If anything, I wouldn't even know if it exhausts them more because no one uses it. There's a whole skill called Foray surrounding it. However, Foray is like another agitator. However, it just doesn't last long either because poison does not stick around for very long. So, as far as I know, no one really opts to use it. I have some funny builds using it, only because I'm messing around with poison, but not because it's ever going to have a good build. So, yeah, I think Rumpapalo didn't need a 10-star. He was the least fought monster for good reason. Not because of his design, but because no one wanted to fight him. So, yeah. That's enough of that, though. Moving on, let's talk about Hirabami. I like Hirabami in general. I do like the addition of the pack hunt. Definitely needed to be a pack hunt from the get-go. When you're in that quest and all you had to do was hunt the one Hirabami, it's very... I want to say disorienting, because in the story it tells you, hey, this pack of Hirabami is in our way. We have to hunt them so we can go back home and take care of Nata. And then only for you to hunt... Oh, and Jeanette. I saw him, but he just hit me there. Anyways, just for you to hunt one Hirabami, call it good, head home, call it a day. So, yeah, very awkward, unfortunately. I do like his pack hunt a little bit. He needs to be buffed or given some kind of alpha. If anything, make him a tad bit more aggressive. If you have a weak monster like Hirabami doing a lot of little attacks, they should definitely do it way more often. The monsters should make you feel threatened, but they do these weird like little slaps as if like a cat is trying to paw at you, and it does minimal damage. If you're going to be doing that with his damage, definitely should be buffing it by speed, not damage. It doesn't need to do more damage because it's not like he's trying to hit you hard. He's hitting you with the force of a cat's paw, which can scratch you, which is why it's doing damage, but don't increase his damage. What you should do is increase speed and aggression in which he attacks. So he just attacks simply more often. I think that is perfectly reasonable. Anyways, with that said, with a few changes, Hirabami can be very good. He's a bit of a bore of a fight. I do like hunting a pack because it's like, oh, I get to just... It's like having that punching bag monster, but you have 3 punching bags. That's sort of why I fight him. But yeah. That's what I think about Hirabami. Nice, but needs a few tweaks and he'd be great. Let's talk about the Guardians, I guess, real quick. I don't have a lot of time here. I think I took too long in general. I need to be more quick about this. The Guardians, in general, are nice. However, in my mind, when you have an army of dragons that you have a whole war with, I know very well that human nature will make a weapon out of Guardians. And the monsters you choose to do this with are very much influenced by their offensive powers. So I think Guardians would have the invading monsters as well as the monster that mimics their call to attract them in the area. I think it's Kurapeko, I think is what it's called. So I can see in the expansion them adding Kurapeko and Basil Geese and Devil's Joe. It's a great package set, and it very much fills the bit of, hey, we have a monster, army of monsters we're going to war with. You definitely need monsters that fill that role better. Because I feel like when you have so many monsters, Doshiguma is not one you choose to go in a war with. Although they come in packs, so it's nice in a sense. But that's sort of my idea. If you have any other ideas of what a good monster to go to war against other monsters would be, feel free to let me know. I definitely think the invading monsters fill that role perfectly. However, I think there's also too few at the very moment, and I imagine them adding at least those 3 to up to 5 monsters, new Guardian monsters in general. I wouldn't have imagined that I didn't have enough time to talk about all the monsters. I'll talk about the apexes tomorrow then, and as well as the a few others. Um, but the Guardians are very nice in general. They're very cool and unique. However, it does. Um, Humans are very predictably violent and aggressive, especially when making quite literal weapons. And it doesn't. Their choices don't make entire sense. Rathalos makes sense. The flying one attacks the sky, shoots fire. Fulgur very powerful, shoots electricity, kinda. Odagirin, he's sort of on the weaker end, but he is on the faster end, so it makes sense. Like they mentioned in the story, he's kind of a scout, can patrol quickly, and track. There's Arkveld, who's oddly not an Elder Dragon, but curious to see what will happen to him if he does absorb the energy of one. And then Guardian Dosha just looks like one they did for numbers. Of course, there's also the Guardian Sacred, which is cute. Definitely like a workforce or like infantry type Guardian. Definitely not made for power though. I'll talk about the rest of them next time. So, let me know what you think of the lower tier monsters. I definitely went through those first. Out of all of them, I like Chadakabra and Doshiguma the most. I think Nursilla is nice, but I think definitely could be made into a better fight. And yeah, I'll talk about the rest of the monsters tomorrow then. That sounds like a plan. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.